Okay, so I wanted to do a video on Shedeur Sanders. For those who've been living under a rock, allow your boy to explain. Basically, Shedeur Sanders got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. He fell so far down. A lot of people are thinking that, well, this is the NFL way of collusion, that they wanted to have Shedeur Sanders fall so far. A lot of people are speculating the reason why he fell so far down in the draft. Cris Carter made an excellent point about Shedeur Sanders. I don't think a lot of people are even talking about what Cris Carter said about Shedeur Sanders. If you've been following this channel, you know me and Cris Carter do not see eye to eye on a lot of things, particularly when he got let go of at Fox Sports 1. You can go check out those videos. I'm not a huge fan of Cris Carter, but as far as this subject matter about Shedeur Sanders, he's on point about what he said, and I'm gonna let you listen to it real fast, real quick.
Let me tell you what he understands today.
Okay.
He ain't running shit. Okay?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, they taught him a great lesson.
Okay.
Like, you don't have this figured out. Your dad don't have this figured out.
Who's they? NFL?
Shedeur?
The world? No, who taught you? Said they taught him. I'm just curious. Like,
Well, the system.
the system. Okay,
There's
the
a system out there, man.
Okay.
Like, you're going for a job interview. So for his job interview, he was so concerned about, what his outfit was. His necklace was over $100,000. Like, he hadn't even convinced people that you're the face of our franchise. Matter of fact, he had convinced people that they were better off going in a different direction, even with people who had lesser talent. That's the rub he put on the people.
If that's the case, that's a bad interview, bro.
No, it is the case. He didn't get drafted right. It's no speculation. Like, we're through the draft. We through 3 days. He threw away at least $30 to $50 million. At least.
Dude, I just don't. And I hear you on all that. I think it's just it's unfortunate that somebody that had less ability or less, and especially when Dylan got picked, I was like, damn.
This is the thing.
And,
People,
like
people,
you said,
people say, well, what about Johnny Manziel? Man, Johnny Manziel beat Alabama twice.
Johnny Manziel was he was.
Johnny Manziel was a dude.
He was a dog, yeah. No doubt about it. He was a different dude coming out with the resume he had. He was a different dude.
And then there's some other things coming out.
Yeah.
Shedeur threw a birthday party. None of his teammates went.
That's like the movie Draft Day. Remember the movie Draft Day? That's exactly what it said. They went draft him. They had a birthday party in Wisconsin in the fictitious movie with Kevin Costner, and they said, "How many of your teammates are?" He's like, "I don't really remember." He's like, "Your 21st birthday, you don't really remember?" You know? But hey, dude, it'll be interesting.
The contract he signs, he will not make more money in the NFL contract that he signs, the 3 or 4 year contract he signs, than he made in NIL in college. He getting ready to work for less money in pro football than he was making in college.
I guess we'll see what kind of dude he is and how much work he puts in or not. It'll be interesting. You're not betting on it, though.
Man, we are what we do and what we say.
Yeah,
okay.
I would agree with that. 100%. All right, so the
Okay, so you just heard Cris Carter talk about Shedeur Sanders, and I'm just going to run down a lot of stuff that he said. First and foremost, I'm 1,000% behind Cris Carter. I felt like Shedeur Sanders, the way he fell so far in the NFL draft, was a lot of things. It has nothing to do with collusion. The owners are colluding to, let Shedeur Sanders fall down to the draft. I mean, we don't have these collusion accusations when other players fall so far down in the draft. So while we're, using that excuse for Shedeur Sanders, I felt like, and Cris Carter even said it, and I've heard a lot of other experts say the exact same thing. If Shedeur Sanders was extremely talented, plus had the baggage of his father is probably going to be coming in the organization and pushing his weight around. He has this media company that follows him. People have to realize the owners and coaching that they're set in their ways. They're not changing for anybody. You could probably get away with that in the NBA, maybe to a lesser extent in Major League Baseball. But when you're talking about the National Football League and the NHL, they don't put up with that stuff. No one's bigger than their league. No one's bigger than their brand. No one. Okay? But back to what I said. If Shedeur Sanders was extremely talented, if he had a cannon for an arm, if he was extremely athletic, if he was a difference maker, they would put up with the other stuff. But Shedeur Sanders doesn't have a cannon for an arm. He's not extremely athletic. He's undersized. A lot of experts have already, just put the tape out there and pretty much said that, look, Shedeur Sanders is not made of those qualities. This is what Shedeur Sanders is. Like it, hate it, however you want to take that information, you just take it however you want to take it. All right. Shedeur Sanders doesn't have those qualities, so you're going to have to convince a coach or an ownership group or an owner. You have to convince them that, hey, we're drafting Shedeur Sanders this high up. He doesn't have those tendencies. He already demonstrated that his mind is elsewhere besides being the CEO of your football team. Because that's what the quarterback is. The quarterback is the CEO. He's the face of the franchise. He's the face of your football team. And when your face of your football team is talking about, look how much jewelry I have a clothing deal. He was just, even Cris Carter said that when Shedeur was throwing the ball around with Cam Ward, he was talking about, hey, you ever think about, starring in a rap video? Cam Ward saying, man, I'm thinking about football. His mind is not even on football from what he says. Now, he can sit up there and slick talk you and convince you into thinking that he's all about football, but his actions are showing something totally different. All right? And when you're not that talented, you don't have that arm, but you have all these other things that doesn't translate well or great with the owners and the coaching staff, then you're a pass. You're a pass. And he got picked where he got picked. Now, Cris Carter even said that, look, Shedeur Sanders have screwed up the possibility of making $40 or $50 million. And he also said that he's going to be making less money in the NFL with this first contract than he will making that NIL money in college. Now, can Shedeur Sanders turn it around? It's really up to Shedeur Sanders what he values the most. Is Shedeur Sanders going to be the first one in, the last one out? Is Shedeur going to be in the combines, the voluntary combines? Is he going to be there in preseason? Is he going to get an opportunity to play in the preseason? Is he going to get an opportunity to even start a game in preseason in the meaningless games? Is he going to get an opportunity to maybe late in the season when they're, either the season's done, will he get an opportunity to do some cleanup work? Shedeur Sanders is going to have to be on that time. Shedeur Sanders is going to have to demonstrate to the coaching staff of the Cleveland Browns and the ownership of the Cleveland Browns that, hey, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to prove to you guys that I belong here. Now, there's a lot of experts that are saying that Shedeur Sanders may not even make it on the roster, on the Cleveland Browns roster. Think about that for a second. And a lot of experts are saying that Shedeur Sanders' future is to be the backup quarterback. So he's got a long way to go to prove that he's not only a starting quarterback, but a CEO type of quarterback. He's going to be the face of your franchise. He's going to be a difference maker. and he's going to have to prove it on the field. He can talk on every podcast. He can do vlogs. You know, his father can talk about his son. You know, his fans. You know, all the talking in the world is not going to convince an owner or a coach who's traditionally set in their ways, and it's been working good being set in their ways, to think differently or to proceed differently, because it's Shedeur Sanders. He's going to have to prove himself. And if you pay attention to Cris Carter, I wish y'all could see the facial expression of Cris Carter when the guy asked him, he's gonna prove them wrong, or whatever the case may be. Cris Carter looked like, oh, I don't know about that, because 99% of the time they get these decisions right. They make these decisions right, and there's a reason why they make decisions that they make. Is Shedeur Sanders talented than the other quarterbacks that were picked ahead of him? Yes, you have a strong case on that. Is Shedeur Sanders, because if Shedeur Sanders get an opportunity, will he succeed at that opportunity? That's left for debating, but from what I gathered, if you give this kid an opportunity, he's going to utilize that opportunity. All right? But as far as what this collusion thing, I think a lot of this, the reason why he fell, and even Cris Carter said, the reason why he fell so far down was the decision Shedeur Sanders made. You know, he didn't showcase himself to every NFL team. You know, I would have been showcasing myself everywhere. When a lot of reporters spoke to him, you know, it was other things that he was talking about. I think the biggest mistake is on the NFL draft night, you're showcasing your clothing brand called Legacy. I think that was the wrong move to make. That will turn off certain coaches. That will turn off a lot of owners saying, okay, well, you're all about you. You're not really all about making this team better. But yeah, I wish all the best for Shedeur Sanders. We'll have to wait and see how it falls out. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.